Hey everybody, it is Reverend Cynthia Curtis. I am here at the Queen's table and I've got two super bad sisters with me right here, and we are going to talk love. We are going to talk what does black love look like? What are we looking for in a BMW, a black man working? What do we want as young women, young women, and somebody slightly older? And so we are here. State your name, first name.
Renatta.
First name? Kanda. And I am asking them, what are you looking for, ladies? And you said.
Okay, so you want me to say what I'm looking for?
Uh-huh.
What I'm looking for in a man is
I'm
someone.
giving you time to think.
I'm looking for someone who finds enjoyment in life and not just their situation that they're in.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've witnessed that a lot of men that are just not financially stable tend to be more angry, tend to look more at the negative of life, tend to look more. It's just not enjoyment. You can't really have a relationship if.
So
both you
they're
guys aren't
existing. They're not really
yeah,
thriving, and
existing,
they're not living.
thriving. So it's like I can give all the positivity I want, and just be happy that I'm alive.
Uh-huh.
And it's like anything could be an argument with them because they don't really care about the little things.
Mm-hmm. So they're frustrated.
They're very frustrated.
And their focus is off.
Yeah.
So do you think you're the kind of woman that can turn a man like that around?
I've tried, but it seems like I always end up helping them by leaving. Like they only appreciate the things that I do after I've already gone.
Okay, so you did all the work, and then some other woman is coming up, reaping the benefits of your harvest.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. I'm gonna put a pin in that. Miss Kanda, what are you looking for? She's from the West Indies.
Yeah, I'm from the West Indies.
There's that accent. There you go. What are you looking for? Are you looking for an African man? Are you looking for American black African man? What are you looking for? She working that hair, y'all. Come on, lean in a little bit. Let them see the hair. She working that hair, y'all. That's all natural.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I would really like an African guy or a black American guy, or
Okay.
But
Would you date outside your race?
I would.
You would? Okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean-
there's the right person.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. And
Black, white.
so what are you looking for? You're in your 30s, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're looking for what? You're looking for stability. You're looking for someone to love you, to marry you. Where are you?
I'm looking for a guy to love me and to be real.
Uh-huh.
Love to work. I want a man that love to work.
Okay.
And got something going on for yourself.
Does it matter whether he entrepreneurs, owns his own company, or he works for someone?
Well, that would be better if he's an entrepreneur, he got his own business.
Okay.
But if he's working for someone, that still would be good, You gotta have a job, you gotta have something going on for yourself.
Okay. And do you have children?
One,
Okay. Are you looking for someone who has children or no children?
I love kids. That's not a problem.
Okay.
It's not a problem at all.
We're going to switch over to young love over here. And how about you? Any children?
No, ma'am.
No children. So you're looking for a guy that has no children, or are you okay if he has children?
I love kids, and I've been stepped on before, but like I said, my experience wasn't really great. I ended up just taking care of the babies.
Okay.
And I would love for a person, I want to be the first baby mother.
Right. Okay. Okay. And so she's saying, she would like to, set it off and start the family. And are you in college, or you're just working?
I'm just working.
Okay.
Just got out the Navy and didn't work out.
Awesome.
So I'm just really.
So we need to get you something positive going.
Right.
You're down the street. We are down the street from Morehouse College, you guys. We are in the middle. We're near MLK. I'm hanging with my people, y'all. I'm so excited. I got ladies to come out to the show. Y'all know how happy I am about that. And we are talking about, what we really need in a man. I'm gonna do me. Mm-hmm. I need someone who's caring. I need someone who loves to have fun. I need somebody who's funny. I cannot be with somebody who has no humor, because they will be mad at me because I am slightly goofy, but I am a strong woman. I know when to be serious. I'm business oriented. but I know how to sit back. I know how to read the signs when somebody wants to, laugh and play, and then I know when they're having that moment they just want some downtime. And I actually, you guys, I have a black man on standby right here. He's looking at us as we're filming this, and we're going to bring him in a minute. We're going to bring him in so he could talk about what he's looking for in a black woman, so we can keep this equal. But I've found that it doesn't matter to me whether they are corporate CEO or famous, or if they're just a worker, you know what I mean? White collar, blue collar worker. It's the heart. I'm looking for a good-hearted person, a person that cares, you know what I mean? That's gonna think about me and say, let's make sure we have what we need. He doesn't have to, drive Tesla with the doors going up. You don't have to have that Maybach yet. I'm gonna get my own. But I'm not looking at the things. I've had things, so I'm not looking for things. I'm looking for a man who knows who he is, who's strong in his character. You know what I'm saying? Well dressed. I need him suited and booted. I need him suited and booted. I'm not gonna lie. You come up here and your pants are hanging, you might as well have just walked by me like the dust blew out the door. I will not see you if your pants are hanging down. But those, some of the things.
Like me a little sag. You can't be. Your
Oh,
pants can't be tighter than mine.
Right. No, I'm not talking about
see
tight.
the couple.
You're
The color
talking
of
about
Yeah.
a nice suit. I need a suit, brother. I'm not good with the thug love. I'm not good with the thug love. But they attract to me. I don't know what it is.
Someone who knows how to dress. Someone who dresses
Right.
according to the occasion. Like if we're going out,
Right.
you don't need a suit.
Right,
But
no,
some
no,
nice
you
jeans
know.
that's fit.
I like my own
The
sexy.
pants shouldn't be
That's for
below
sure.
your butt,
Gotta be
but it should
sexy.
definitely be at your waistline.
Right. And neat, clean. Don't come with the wrinkled shirt, the wrinkled jeans, like you just pulled it out the basket. We're being real right now. We're being real. We're keeping it real. And I love a man who knows name brands. I like a man, who can.
Yeah.
I love some Gucci. I love, just you don't have to be, all that, but I love me some Gucci. I love, just that GQ, that kind of, it's a clean cut, brother, But at the same time, not a roughneck, but to have a little roughness. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, all right now. I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying?
There you
I'm like,
go.
okay, what you say, baby? Okay. This might be too much. I hope this is okay for my church people. But I need somebody that Bonnie and Clyde. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We together. We rolling together. Did we just do that? Yeah, we just did that thing,
But it's together.
That's right, it's together. We run it together. You know what I'm saying? That where I can finish his sentences, he can finish my sentences. For me, I'm a preacher, so I'm looking for somebody who can, knows the words, who spend time with God, at the same time. I can't. Now, if you don't know any scripture, you can't stop here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, I've had that rough moment. Brother, he didn't even know one scripture. And when we pressed him, he finally came out with one. Guess what he said? Jesus wept. The shortest scripture in the Bible. I was so embarrassed. I was embarrassed for him. I was like, really? Do you even know why Jesus wept? And then I was like, okay, I have to reel it back. Let me reel it back. Because not everybody, can quote scripture. Not everybody knows all different scriptures. But for me, if you're going to lead, guide, and direct me, I need you to know Jesus. I need you to have a relationship with God. Because when you get out of line, and I can't call your mother or your father, who's going to be your corrector?
God.
We have to be able to pray, and so I need someone that's saying, you know what, no, baby, we're going to pray about this thing. We link up, you know what I'm saying? And so for you guys, is that important for you to have a man that's in church, or,
100%. I grew up in church, but now I've, been a little struggle out here, so I do church online. And I've learned that I don't ever want to be in another relationship where a person doesn't have a relationship with God.
Yes.
Like people could say that they even if they went, grew up in church, or even if they know scripture, some people don't have a relationship with him. And if you don't have a relationship with him, your actions will still say
and it will speak to that.
Exactly.
It definitely will. What about for you?
I mean, you don't have to go to church to know God,
That's true.
Because I don't go to church and I really love God.
Okay.
I've been through a lot, and I always
And
pray before I go to sleep,
Okay.
and stuff like that. So yeah, and I love a man led into God.
Okay, and see, that's why we're here. So you guys can get the different perspectives and hear what some are looking for. Some may not be looking for that. Some just want them to know God. Some just want to go to church. But I know for me and my family, the women have always wanted a man to take them to church. You know what I'm saying? My mother, I watched her. My father would always drive us to church, and he would sit in the car, but he wouldn't go in the church. And I was like, why doesn't Dad come in the church?
My dad was like that
every
too.
Sunday he would drive us
Yeah.
to church. And one day I said, Dad, how come you never come in the church? And he said, because the people are mean. And I was like, what? He said that people can be mean. He said, I make sure that you guys get there. He said, I know God. I have a relationship with God. I said, what? I said, does Mom know this? And he said, we've never really just talked about it, but I always make sure. He said, because she has to be at church and she has to be there on time. And I said, yes, it's very important to her. And I said, but I think she wants you to go in with her. He said, she's never said anything. And I said, see there, I mean, I know she would say, are you coming to church? And he would say, yeah, I'm coming, because he would drive us, right? So he did come to church, but he just would not go in the door. And so I think that when the Bible says, you ought to tell God what you want, and I have specified, I want somebody that's active in the ministry, that we can do tag team preaching. Like, go ahead and preach, you know what I'm saying? And so they come back and tag me in, I come back and we preach it out and save some souls and feed the homeless and build some houses, all that good stuff that ministry does, apostles, preachers, teachers, evangelists, prophets, that we all do. And just to be able to share that love with people and fellowship, to bring people in, to know who God is, and have that kind of love, that agape love, brotherly love, that phileo love. You guys know there's different types of love. The eros love is that sexual love, that desire that people have. And God gave us that too. We're just supposed to wait until we get the ring, y'all. The ring. This is my ring between me and the Lord. And right now, you see, it's having a moment. I'm losing weight, you guys. I've lost 40 pounds. I know y'all out there. This is church family. Don't tell anybody. And so I'm excited because I'm preparing myself for my mate to show up. And so the thing for me is that I want to be in the best shape that I can be. So I decided to lose some weight. And so I'm excited. You know what I mean? I feel like 2003 is here. The time is now. I'm not getting any younger. I'm preparing. How about you guys?
Well, I think it's time for me to meet somebody. It's been a while. It's been at least two years being single.
Okay.
And I think it's time. I'm ready.
See, I just came out of the situations I've had.
You're young, though. You're still
but,
young.
But
you've got time.
I'm young, but I've very much been on my own for a minute.
Okay.
And the situations I have been in, they've always been just, very abusive. Like, I lost 70 pounds, and it wasn't because I was trying to find my mate. It was just because of situations I was in.
The stress.
Yeah.
So you know what? I'm going to invite you to church. I'm going to invite you to come to the church. I think we need to get you connected there's positive people. You have a church home?
Well, I don't have a church home. I have a church online, but this is my second to last day I'm going to be in this area. Because like I said, a lot has been happening, so I'm doing new changes, new environment.
Okay.
And
well, we'll talk after this show.
Right.
So I can keep up with you. Well, I would like to invite you to my church. I go to New Birth, and it's in Stonecrest, Pastor Jamal Bryant.
I used to go to Stonecrest every time. My mom would take me all the time.
Well, maybe you need to return because a lot is changing, a lot is going on. There's a lot to get involved in, and there's a lot of new people coming in the church and stuff. And
Stonecrest is very welcoming.
Okay, all right. Well, see, we're gonna talk out. There's reasons I'm here, you guys. It wasn't just for the chicken. And so, with that, I'm gonna say, if you could have one thing that you told God that you wanted and that made, and know that one thing is there, what would it be?
Love.
Long life.
Love and long life. Just spend a lot of time with them. Okay. Awesome. Both of those are good answers. And so for those of you out there, you're seeking a mate. Ladies, we're still out here. We're trying to reach the black man. We're trying to find out what black love looks like, and what love looks like. Whether, you might interracial date. You might be, Latino, could be Caucasian, could be Italian, Samoan. There's a lot of different factors out there. But this is Black History Month, so I'm speaking on it. I'm looking at black love. I love my brothers. And for me, I need someone that's loving and understanding. Because I think that communication is key. No matter what you do, you have to have communication. And that goes hand in hand with how you respect. And love, love is how can I say, love grows. You know what I mean? Love can grow.
But it also changes. Like,
It does
love is in
change.
different forms.
It is. And so that's why I think that all three of what we said, to be able to be in longevity position, to have somebody who loves, and to make sure that you communicate and keep the lines of communication open. I'm going to add one more.
I was
Prayer.
gonna say, I got two.
You got two? Go ahead.
Because it's like, I say love in effect because, you know, a lot of people get into situations and they think that you guys are on the same page and it's never it. You know, people can love you for your body, people can love you for your personality, people can love you for your positivity, but they don't love you. They love what you give them.
Yes, they love what you bring to the table.
They love what you bring to the table.
Love what you bring to the table.
I mean love me in all whole.
Yes, wholeheartedly love
But
you.
I feel like
They better love
you
me.
should have intelligence. I just really want a guy with intelligence. You know, there's some guys that, you know, they come up and talk to you trying to get with you, and what they say is just so
Immature.
irrational, so
If we're gonna
immature,
call it
ignorant.
immature. I knew you were going to
Very
say that word.
ignorant.
I heard it before she said it. That's why I said we're going to call it immature.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. So my brothers, what she's saying is she needs you to come correct without the drama.
Read some
She
books.
needs you to come, there you go, read, learn, study, go to school, you know, search out. There's so many different
Knowledge is not lame.
types of
It's not.
She's on a roll, y'all. She's on a roll. I'm trying to keep
y'all.
it flowing. Just she trying to help y'all out. But seriously, I mean, even since I've been here in Georgia, I'm from California by way of Chicago, but I've seen some brothers that just maybe, I don't know if they're giving up or they're tired or just, I mean, I want to make sure they're brothers. But, you know, there's a lot going on out here. We're fighting for the brothers, not just against women, but we're fighting for the brothers against men because the LGBTQ community is real out here in Georgia. And so just to find a good brother who's a real brother, you know, to love, hold, and cherish a woman, to even want to get to marriage it's a challenge here in Georgia. And so I am praying that God would begin to connect the people so that we can begin to make more little black babies. Don't leave me, sir. Don't leave me. I'm going to bring you in right now. Okay. All right. So we're going to, what's your name? Larry. We're going to bring in Larry in just a moment. I'm going to bring my sisters off camera and I'm going to bring Larry in, and we're going to get the male perspective of what he's looking for in a black woman or the woman for him. And so I want to thank Miss Kanda and Miss Sassy Renatta for being here with me and talking about it. And we're going to pray, and I'm going to see if I can get her to New Birth. I'm going to see if I can bring them both to New Birth. And, you know, maybe that love will find them there. The Bible says that he that finds a wife, he finds a good thing, and she is his favor. He obtains favor of the Lord. And so I'm going to hold on to that when you find a good woman, you know what I mean, the favor of the Lord falls on you, and then you guys begin to grow together. And so I'm looking for the couples to start to come together, even in the church, you know, that we build those relationships, cultivate the family, and allow the black man to come home, and the black woman can sit down and rest. And all of these children can be raised and nurtured the way our forefathers raised them. You know, the women really didn't work that much. They nurtured the kids. They took care of the husband. And now we've fallen into that belief that we need a two-person income. I think that if we get the right house, we get the right car, and we work together, both don't have to work as hard as they're working. And so that is my prayer this year, that love would find one another, and that black love would begin to marry again, and we can bring the family back together. And so he's on the move. I'm going to say thank you to the ladies, and I'm going to bring you on. Are you ready? Yeah. Can you cover those? Okay, there you go. And then come on over. And he's going to come on over to the show. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. Don't go too far. I'm going to ask you some questions after this.
Okay.
All right. No, you did good. And you look good.
I was choking when I first started.
We're still here. Okay, here they are. We're in the raw, you guys. So we're talking about it here. All right. And let me move over so you can come in. All right, here we go. Let's see, we get both of us in here. All right. So, Reverend Cynthia here with
Larry, how y'all doing?
Larry. Brother Larry is here. Larry, what are you looking for in a woman? What are you looking for in a relationship?
In a relationship?
I need you to perk it up. You're on camera, sir.
What am I looking for in a relationship? Probably the biggest thing would be loyalty.
Okay, there you go.
No, you know what? I take that back. Loyalty is big, but consistency is probably bigger. I would like to say that black men have expectations too. Like when I hear black women speak, I hear a lot of hoops thrown for men, and I challenge my black men to ask questions too, like, why are you here, and what do you bring to the table as well? I'm a black man who works hard for his, so like I know my work isn't for free or to be negated. I would like a woman who brings equality to the table, not just high expectations or standards for me. I feel like she should be holding those same qualities to herself.
And so that's kind of what I was saying. I not looking or expecting them to be, they don't have to be corporate CEO. They don't have to be,
I don't mean
head of all of that.
financial, period.
Right. Okay.
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Emotional.
In their person.
I mean, mental health
That's
wise,
right.
because a lot of people feel like the man is supposed to make the woman happy, but I feel like
The woman
a man
supposed
is
to make-
not supposed to make a woman happy. It is her job to make herself happy. He can
Right.
accentuate or take away from her happiness, but he can't be responsible for something that comes from within.
Right. Okay. So for me, and I hear what you're saying, I think that the person should already be happy. But I know biblically what happiness comes off of what happened. So what your situation, what you're going through. We're called as believers to be joyful, to know that no matter what, God is going to
No matter
bring
what
us
the
through.
situation,
That's
right?
right. No matter what the
To be
situation,
joyful.
God is going to
So
bring
that
us
comes from
through.
within, not from the situation that's at hand. Your joy sprouts from within, and it should be luminous to everything that's around.
That's
it should
right.
be infectious to everything that's around.
Right. So no matter what happened, when you walk through that door, it drops off.
Yeah.
When your mate comes home, it drops
Yeah.
off. You don't hold on to the grudges. You don't hold on to how bad the day was.
I find when people are married, you start to forget the very reasons why you married the person that you're with, and you start to, whether it's knowingly or unknowingly, take advantage of that person because you expect them to understand. You expect them to, I had a bad day at work. That's why I'm acting this way.
Right,
But that's
right.
unfair
But it is unfair.
to the one person
assume
who
that
has
they should-
dedicated themselves to you
Yes.
to feel like it's okay to take your
Your
dirty
negativity,
day
yes.
off on them.
Right.
Yes, I mean.
So let me ask you this: are you married or are you single?
I'm married. I've been married for 15 years now. I've been with her for 21.
Okay. And through that, the 15 years, so after the marriage, what was the first thing you noticed that changed?
The first thing that changed
Was the respect still the same? Was the love still the same?
From her, yes. From me, no.
Okay.
I will be very honest and say that in the beginning of my marriage, because I was quote unquote popping, I really didn't pay enough attention
Okay.
to my wife. I felt like because I make the money, then she's supposed to understand.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is a very bad.
Ding, 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 ding. If I had a bell, ding, 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 ding. I get a lot of men that say, you know what, she shouldn't have anything to say because I bring the money.
I don't mean anything.
It does not mean anything because if the person does not feel you love them, they
If
can
all
care
she
less
cares
about
about
the money.
is how much you bring home, you really don't have a relationship.
That's right.
You have a sponsorship.
I tell them that's a roommate situation.
Yeah.
And if we're gonna be roommates,
I'm straight on that. I
don't
can take
need-
care of
you know what I'm
myself.
saying? And so I think that's why I asked you that question. What's the first thing that changed? Because between the dating phase and to now the married phase, most couples either say it's the intimacy that changed or it's lack of communication.
lack of communication
we no longer
changed
talked.
after
we no longer
speaking.
listen to one another.
After speaking to me for so long, and I'm not really comprehending what you're saying, or making excuses, or trying to make it whatever I need it to be so that I'm cool.
Right.
Yeah, of course, communication breaks down.
And do you feel like you've tried to recreate that bond now?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a lot of work.
How was Valentine's Day?
It was great.
It was great. Okay.
It was great.
Did you guys do the whole dinner thing? Did you cook?
I got up early that morning, and I went and I bought my wife and my daughters, because it's more, Valentine's is much more than just
Right.
her. It's for all of the love. It's
Right.
for all, you know what I mean? So on Valentine's Day, I spent money on all the women that were important in my life. Not just,
Now, was it reciprocated? Did they give you something?
you know what? This year, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I came home and I had some little cupcakes for my daughter.
Okay.
That was enough.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
I thank God for being able to. It was
The
a lot
love
of.
that you received.
It was just a lot of times. It's the love I received from God, not her.
Okay.
To be honest with you.
Okay.
Like, because in the 15 years that we've been married, 10 of those years I've spent saying, hey, something's wrong,
Okay.
to a denial, because she had turned herself off to me.
Okay.
My fault.
And I hear some things.
You feel what I'm saying? It's
I
my
hear some
fault,
things.
but
Uh-huh.
I've never been a guy who talks for no reason. And she knows that. So, like, I feel like more so than just me being wrong and you being hurt, it was kind of more so enjoyment of, well, I'm out here now. I've made this comfortable thing for me, and I don't want to give that up because you may go back to being the old you. Trust works two ways. There's no perfect woman. There's no perfect guy. What you work for is what you get, no matter which one of them it is.
And if you don't work for it, it's
Then
what you get.
yeah,
You see?
yeah.
And so, now do you guys have a church home?
No.
No. Okay. So, I'm going to extend to you new birth, because what I hear is there's some counseling needed, that you need to sit one-on-one with a brother that you can talk to and feel comfortable with, and she needs to sit with some of the sisters that counsel, that can talk to her.
Maybe.
And then you guys can come together, you know what I'm saying, and talk about the issues. What I always do, I counsel, but what I do is I make you guys pray right off the top. But I make you pray for you, and I make them pray for themselves, so that I don't get this cross, Lord, fix him, Lord, he wrong, Lord, he this. No. You're not his Holy Spirit. So you're going to self-correct first. Lord,
I'm
whatever
past
is
that
in
part.
me
I'm past
that
that
has
part.
caused this relationship not to be what God has created it to be,
I'm
Lord,
not with
take it
blame.
out.
I'm not with blame. Like, to me,
No, it's not for, that's why I don't let you guys pray crossways.
Yeah, but I'm
'Cause
just saying,
I don't want the
period.
blame. What I want is
I got more in-
self-correction. Lord, whatever
Yeah,
I've done
there
to
you go.
contribute to this not being the best before you, because we made a vow as unto you, as unto God, before we ever made this vow, as unto each other, that we would take care of one another, because the Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. So you know right off the top that we're supposed to love them wholeheartedly. We're supposed to make sure that they're okay. We're supposed to make sure that that the things that I'm not going to hurt me. So if I'm not going to hurt me, I'm not going to hurt you. And this is what I've always approached relationships. And so my friend said, Cynthia, when you leave, they're mad with you because you left. And I said, because I learned the secret. God showed me something. He said, don't love people because of what they did. Don't love them in spite of what they did. Love them because of who I am to you. And so if they did me wrong, I still love them. I still tried to help. I still tried to find ways to help them after that relationship was even over. And I told people, I said, I've never been left. It's been me that has left, because I do what I can do, kind of like what one of the young ladies is still with us on the other side, and we're agreeing by head shake. But you do the work, and you do the extra work. You do their part and your part, and then you get into a place where you feel they're good enough to let go. I feel like I'm the fixer. You're the fixer. Right. And so I feel like I'm the fixer in the relationship, because I just want them to be okay. I want them to see and feel the love that I really have, but at the same time, I know when I have to disconnect, and then I disconnect slowly so that they don't combust and realize that good thing just walked out the door. You got an epiphany?
Yes, because it's like,
I know.
Come here, stand right here in the middle. Come right here in the middle.
No,
This is abstract, you guys, so go with us.
I just went through that situation, like specifically like that, to where you have to let a person go because you know that they're not for you and they're not trying to change. But there's a part of them that is. It's just not on your speed limit.
But
So
you
it's like,
and you see that they're not going with you. Yeah.
And it's like it takes two people, like even in a marriage, it takes two people to change for it to work. Even if
That's
one person
right.
started off with the problems,
That's
and then the person started coming back at that person. Now this person trying to change. Now this person's still hurt about the last thing. It takes both of them to be like, despite of whatever happened in the past, we're gonna make this work and to stop throwing things at each other.
And now watch this. And if you see that already, and if the struggle is there and you're not married, that's when you have the opportunity to walk away.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, you know, because you sound like a fixer, I'm a fixer.
Yes,
and I have done things to try and see how people would react to me. I've done things to see, are you the man that if I fail, would you pick me up, or would you look at me and walk on by? You know,
He wasn't for you.
will you? Right.
If,
You know.
if a man, see, that's something that I've never struggled from. Loyalty has never been a problem of mine. Have I cheated before? Yes, but my loyalty is going home. This is like where charity starts, is at the crib. If my house is not right, if my woman doesn't feel well, I have no room for nothing else, because that is the bone, that is my backbone.
and we
So
have
if
to
I'm
learn-
walking out the house and she's not comfortable, my kids aren't well taken care of, then I'm not
you
right.
didn't do your job.
I'm
That's
not right. I mean, mentally, how can you go out and be successful? If your breath stink, you ain't wash your butt, your clothes wrinkled, how could you be successful?
Well,
We-
like,
It's not going to work
You
because it
didn't
doesn't
do- you
line
didn't
up.
do the
You didn't do the
prep.
prep.
Yeah.
Before, and so
That's what made me stay.
Well, see-
after it got ugly, and all my friends was like, dude, who's she talking about? That's not you. It was though, and
At
I
that-
can't
and you
ever,
couldn't.
I
Right.
can't ever get past it if I'm not willing to say
it was me.
that was me.
Yes.
You understand what I'm
Yes.
saying? That gives you the room to understand why the person across from you is not moving like they should be moving with you.
So this is what I want you to do. This is going to be a little moment, you guys. Work with us. I want you to go home, and I want you to take her hand.
We're good.
You good now?
Yeah, we're good.
You good now? Okay.
We're
Because I was
good.
going to say, I want you guys to sit there and earnestly pray.
I
You
mean,
know what, Lord?
it took about 4 years of the proverbial doghouse and just doing the right thing until I left you nothing else to say but, okay, you're all right, I see.
Until you got honest with yourself.
And that was
and
enough.
saw that you
That was
were
enough. I didn't
causing
get any,
this.
no positivity came until I was honest to myself. After I got honest, this is what
There you go.
all the guys who move like I used to move, this is what you need to know. After you get right, it's not over.
Did you find that
You got-
you were all about self when you really thought you were about family?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think most men get to that point where they realize
I
that
think
they were
most
operating
people,
in
though.
self.
I don't think it's most men. I think it's most
You
people.
think it's most people?
I have so many
you know-
female friends who I sit with, and they come to me for counseling. And all I hear them talk about is the other person, the other
Yeah.
person, the other person, the other person, the other person, the other person. And I'm like, how did y'all get together? If he's such a horrendous guy, how did you get together? Do you have any fault in all of this crapola that you're laying on this guy to me? I've never heard you say your name once. It doesn't.
when a female is looking for a man, a lot of times, especially if they're younger, or if they've just never had a good man, what they want when they're looking for a man is
their
money
daddy?
or someone who can provide or this and that. And then when they're in a relationship, they want all the attention.
Then they want the heart,
understanding.
right.
They want the heart, but that's not what he
What
was
they
bringing
look-
when y'all met. So it's
Exactly.
like, how can you expect something from a man when y'all went in, you didn't ask for that?
Okay.
It's there. What is the biggest misconception is he don't feel, he don't have feelings. No, he got all of that. It's hard to sit with your woman and relay those feelings when while you're saying them, she's already shaking her head no. She's looking at you like you weak because you're saying my feelings, you hurt me. Things we've been taught. You got to understand, as an upbringing, taught things that weren't necessarily the truth.
Well, men were taught to cover their feelings. We talked about this in my church recently. My pastor had some therapists come on, three very prominent black therapists come in, and they talked about how the black family covered up things. They talked about how if Uncle so-and-so touched the young girls, that everybody covered up because they didn't want Uncle so-and-so to go to jail.
He needed to go.
Right, exactly. Or he needed to get counseling. He needed to be away from the family until he learned how to keep his hands to himself. They talked about how, even just, how we grow up and the name calling and that you did this and you did this wrong and this and that. And instead of somebody coming and saying, I love you, but you did this wrong. Or I love you, your focus is off. Like little Johnny is not hyper and he does not need all the drugs. What he needs is somebody to teach him how to organize. What he needs is somebody to teach him how to focus on one task and then move him to the next task and make sure he's focused on that task. Instead they want to give them all that different medicine.
Yeah, I feel that we are taught to lose. And white, I won't say white, I'll say others are taught to expect success. When you're taught to lose, then losing is expected. You understand what I'm saying? You expect to bounce back, not to win, not to succeed, not to thrive. You just want to live. You hear so many black people say that. I just want to live. I don't want to just live. I want to thrive.
That's the problem in the community, because watch this. They see that the buildings in our community didn't look like the other community. I can see that from here. For me,
our dollars
I grew up
ain't spent in our neighborhood.
They're ding, 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 ding. I was just about to get there.
They spend it outside.
I'm looking at how the buildings are just across the street here, and they're.
Sorry, I'm back.
That's okay. We're working through some stuff here. They're not as well kept. The houses aren't as well kept. And it's not that they're not big and beautiful houses, but the attention that's paid to one city versus the other city, I can see where we are, has not been taken care of. Now, do we take that back to the mayor? Do we take that back to the city council?
We take it back to us.
We take it back to the people that live in the
Take
community.
it back to us because we don't go to city council meetings. We don't sit through that to decide what we allow in our communities and what we don't. We don't support black business and black clothing lines. If we take our dollar back, then we demand to be heard. Until we do that, we're just talking in the wind. We've had you can burn down 60 more Walmarts, and they're going to go back up in better neighborhoods. But they're going to charge us to come all the way across to go shop there.
That's right.
Because we don't have no.
Well, okay.
Yeah, we don't have.
So and that's where we're looking at. So we don't have the banks. You guys don't have the banks in your neighborhood. You have the ATM stations.
Right.
You don't have
to be charged twice.
You have the check cash places. You don't have real banking. No credit unions. You don't have. Grocery stores the way you need. You don't have Kroger's. You don't have Publix over here. You have to go all the way over to Midtown and Buckhead to get to those stores.
Right.
You don't have. You have plenty of churches. I don't know how well they're handling.
Stores.
And you have plenty of liquor stores. That to me is a very big part of this problem. That I see
stay drunk, shut up, go to work, come home, get drunk,
fight.
Go to bed, go to jail, make bond. It's a vicious cycle, but we control it.
We do.
We control it.
Because you know what? We can
Black
vote
love.
those stores out before they come in. If there's a liquor store cannot be in so many feet of a church.
Right.
Okay? And so when they're asking to put those things in communities, that's why I tell people, if you want to know what type of neighborhood you're in, I can tell you by what's there. If you tell me there's fast food, I can tell you it's not a very prominent area unless it's just you'll get a Chick-fil-A or you'll get, I'm from California, you'll get an In-N-Out burger, but you will not get a McDonald's. You will not get, we have Jack in the Box. You will not get, like you guys, Crystal. You won't get that in a prominent area. You will get restaurants.
Right, those are poor draws.
Right.
It's going to bring your late night black man, your hustler to it, and that's not what they want in those. Right. See, in Atlanta, what they did was they deemed this the hood. And on the outskirts were all the white areas, we're going to say. But after the Olympics, they said, damn, the money is
right here
in the hoods. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna start giving them tickets. They come on out the hood, and as they gave us these vouchers to come out the hood, they moved us into predominant areas where the laws were stiffer
Okay.
to the black
Some
man.
slightly suburban areas,
Where
but
you
the
catch more
penalties
time,
were more.
right? Where you catch more time for doing the same thing, you got slaps on the wrist to do in
And
the
they-
city. That took away a lot of dads. It took away a lot of sons. Now, mom and the babies, her part-time
left
job,
to try and
right?
make it. And they're
Builds
struggling.
resentment.
Yes.
Even if she doesn't mean to, when she looks across the street and she see that woman who don't work at all,
Right.
and her
Right.
husband is home, she curses you.
She's angry. She's angry
Right.
because she feels like she's been dealt a bad hand.
This is something that was planned 20 years before I was born. It's,
So,
it, it's,
how do
it's
we
not.
fix it now?
It's not
How
by
do-
informing,
how do we
by
get
informing,
the
by
black
getting
men to
used,
see?
by getting used to working again, by with our hands,
Well, I
not
was
just
gonna
the
say,
computer.
They
Not-
used to
not
have
just-
skills. They used to do carpentry. They used
That
to
made
build
a man
things.
a man.
That's right. They used to work on cars. They used to
That
build
makes
things.
a man a man. That makes a woman, even when he's poor, when she looks
That's
and
right.
see that sweat on his brow,
That's
and that he can go in there. She don't got to call a repairman to do it. That he gonna spend 6 hours doing it. It might have took a repairman 45 minutes, but he'll get the job done.
That's right. You know,
That makes her admire
my
him.
father always told me, and he's passed now, but he always told me, he said, don't marry a man that can't work with his hands. He said, because you'll spend all your money paying somebody else to do what you should be able to do or what he should be able to do.
Yeah.
And so he would teach me how to
Do you
fix
know how?
things.
Do you know how hard, how contradicting that is to me? Because I'm one of those guys who don't use his hands. I can't. I'm not a dude who's going to get up under your car and fix anything. I'm going to pay for it to get fixed.
But you can put air in the tire.
Yeah, I can do that. I can change one. I can change one. I
Okay.
mean, I can change oil if
Well, okay. I got a
If I
filter
didn't
that
want-
needs to go in right now.
if my
I'm
Nikes
just kidding.
weren't so expensive.
But
But
those are the things to me, because the kids now, they don't have Tinker Toys. They don't have Lincoln Logs.
No.
They didn't have the little farm, with the little cow and the little animals.
They don't even got Carmen
taught us,
Sandiego.
We learned, and I'm using toys, you guys, but I had to look at something. For Toys R Us to go out of business the way it did, was big, because that meant that the kids no longer had an imagination. They didn't know how to play. All they want to do is be on a computer, and the computer, they have
it
no social
opens-
skills.
It opens access to things that their
That they
mind
shouldn't
not
even-
ready for
Toys R
yet.
Us ran out of-
Business, yeah.
When?
Like 3 years ago, right before
Nobody's
COVID.
playing
before
anymore.
COVID. If you
That
gonna-
was like the best place. I'm
You
sorry.
got-
You're on
you
camera.
got-
We're on camera. We got to stay.
That
we
was
gotta
like
keep it.
that was the best place when you needed something, because my family was poor. I'm a 2002 baby, but we still, basically, I was still in the age of like the 90s and stuff during the 210, like the VCR and stuff like that. We didn't have money. So it's like, Toys R Us used to be the best place. Like, my mama couldn't even take us there because it was too so-called expensive. Like, somebody else had to give us a present and be like, yeah, we got it from Toys R Us, got a little stuffed animal. I'm just like, oh my God. So it's crazy.
Yeah, and so
They
that's
don't
when I
ride
look at
bikes.
Ride bikes was
and
nice.
see, I still
Scooters.
ride bikes, but you know what? You know what's happened now? They go, oh, well, the other people cycle. No, we used to ride. That was a black family thing. We
You
used to go
better believe
bowling.
it. You better believe it.
We would ride bikes. I don't know about you guys. We played every game there is.
Oh, yeah.
Yahtzee and
Yeah,
backgammon,
Monopoly and freaking
Sorry.
checkers and Sorry,
What's
yeah.
the one you drop
Connect
in
Four?
Connect Four. We had all those Candyland.
Jungle, yeah.
What was that? The Jungle. They made a movie about it.
Jumanji.
Jumanji. We had the Jumanji.
Yeah, that's the '90s games. That's the '90s
Man,
game. But
that
we
was
did
fun.
all of those things,
But
and I see the kids
we
now.
had
They
video
don't
games.
know that kind of
we
fun.
Had Nintendo. We had Super Nintendo. But guess what? Tecmo Bowl was cool. But we still going outside to throw that football in the street.
Don't
That
come
little-
back in
the
with the lights
football.
on.
Yeah, the Tecmo Bowl was cool.
I had one of those up until about 2 years ago.
Really?
Yes,
That's
I
worth
had
money
acquired
now.
one. Exactly, I had acquired one. I had baseball cards, all this stuff. Somebody got me for it, but my dad made sure we played because he always, and I told people, he taught us
Child
how to
stay
go
in a
and take
child's
vacation.
place.
You have to reset. You have to rest the mind, and you have to renew. So if you don't take vacation, if you don't make sure you spend time with your family, what are you doing? You're just stressed the whole year.
Yeah,
and so
you
I think
don't
the black
notice
family has to learn how to
that we
reset.
find our family when we leave home.
And then they make what new family.
Yeah, we make
with
family.
outside
That's what I
people.
mean by that.
Yeah, outside
we,
people.
we were taught, like at my house, I had cousins, but we didn't play with them. I played with my little sisters. I don't have brothers.
Okay.
I had 2 little sisters.
Okay.
That's who I played with. And once I got tired, once I got older, where the age difference was just like, what
That
I'm
was
gonna
too
do
much.
with them.
Right, they're grown now. They're grown
Then
now. Yeah.
I can go outside and play, but when those street lights come on,
Yeah, you had to get back
you better
home.
be in there.
You guys remember when those lights came on?
Yeah, that means
I
something in
remember my
Atlanta.
mother was going, Cindy, and we
You
were
better hear
already
it.
on our way. That's right, we were already
Better
on our
hear
way.
it.
Be locked now. You sitting there knocking on the door, Mama.
See, did you even know about that?
I'm the one who said it before y'all
Okay,
did.
okay.
I said those street lights.
In the black
you can't
house,
come
that
back
means
inside. My
something.
mama used to be like, we used to open the door so many times. You know, they hate that because they cooking. Mama used to be like, stay outside. Don't come. You better make a choice, inside or outside.
Outside,
We had to
yes.
take a
Outside would be
jug.
that
We,
choice.
we couldn't bring our friends in. They
No.
couldn't,
No.
you could not play in my
Never.
mother's living room, Now my aunt, you could go with her kids, you can go in their room, you can hang out, but you could not be in her living room either.
Better not shut that door.
And so, right. In fact, one of my cousins got the door taken off.
I got my door
She took
taken
the
off,
door
too.
off. She said, you know what?
shut the
You want to
door.
slam a door? You guys ever
Yeah.
slam a door? He
Yeah, you
slammed
gotta
that
take it
door,
off.
and she said, I know you didn't slam a door in the house you didn't
Don't
pay
pay no
for.
rent.
And she took the door off his bedroom. I was like, Mom, you have to stop her. My mother was like, leave her alone. Leave her alone. And
Yeah.
my aunt took that door right off his bedroom, and he was mad. But there was nothing he could
could
do
do about
because
it.
he knew she didn't play. Why? Because she had to be
Respect.
the mother and the father. The dad was there for a while, and then he was close even in the neighborhood, but it still left her to be the disciplinary. It still left her to make sure things
Mothers
went
have to discipline too.
everything.
Oh my God.
And so that's why we get that. They love us, but then the boys, they grow up and then they're mad with us. And I think that's why a lot of black men aren't dating black women, because they still see us as the disciplinary instead of seeing the fact that the man did not stay to do his part.
See, my
So now
family
I have to
was
do
the
both
opposite.
roles.
Like, my
It
family was the
shouldn't
opposite.
be a bad guy. When I hear y'all talk like that, it leads the child to dislike the father, but you have to understand a man's role before you throw that blame in.
No.
This
What
was
I'm
set.
saying is
This
for
was set
those
before
that.
me. This was set before my son.
But we got to get
But
watch
I'm
this.
saying, like-
We're 50 years out of slavery. We got to get.
I ain't talking about
beyond-
slavery.
We got to. I'm going to talk about what happened during that time. They took the black man, made him go work with them. They took him, they put him in the military. So they took him away from the family. Okay, and he has not come back home in a lot of cases since then.
The black man
because
was
it
strong
messed up
after
the mind.
slavery.
It altered the mind.
Well, I'm saying,
black man was
my
strong after
situation was
slavery.
the opposite of the norm.
No,
I'm
I
not
mean after military.
I'm
After military, a lot of the
I'm
men
talking about
changed.
women's liberation, if you want me to be honest with you.
Well,
I'm
that
talking once
that
they
was
started
part
to
of an
give the
issue,
woman
too.
more money than they paid the man, the black woman had no need for this man. No
Yeah.
more. Instead of him being called a black man, he was called a black nigga.
But that's
you
what I'm
understand
about
what
to
I'm
say.
saying?
Like, my family, like, we're cultural. I'm Jamaican, Nigerian. Dad's Nigerian, mom's Jamaican. So I grew up in a very cultural, very strict household like that. And my mom was the moneymaker. My dad was the one that stayed at home, beat the kids, and my mom was the one that worked 3 to 11 at night. So my roles was reversed.
She was a
I learned how
nurse?
to be a carer for my dad. My dad having taught to me that a provider for my mother. So that affected my relationships going forward, because I would be taking care of these men, just sitting down, paying the bills,
I was
doing
going to
everything.
say, you just answered your own question.
Yeah.
Why you're like you are.
Yes,
Because you
because-
spent more time with your father.
And then I actually witnessed more abusive relationships because, like I said, my dad did the whippings, but then after that, he'll have that talk saying he loves you.
Because
And then
you
I was just
justified it
trying to
as
like that.
disciplinary action. See, that's
I'm
how
different
it
than
was.
both
I
because I
definitely
grew up
did
with
my
both.
word.
I grew up with my mom, I grew up with my dad. My mom worked, my dad worked. My dad worked more, so I spent a lot more time around my mother. My mom's a pastor, my father's a pastor.
Okay.
So,
He withheld that information.
yeah.
Now, do you have a call in your life? Are you in church?
I know the word.
You know the word.
Yeah,
Okay.
I know the word.
You have a relationship with God?
Of course. Since 12. I read the Bible 3 times. I used to speak. I felt condemned because I was doing more than that, and because I know the word, because I do have an understanding, and you know,
There's
you will
accountability
That's
there.
right. You will
That's
be
right.
with many
That's
if
right.
you act like you don't know.
That's
So
right. There's
I understood
accountability
very
has to be
early.
there.
I got to get out of this pulpit. My parents that caused a rip for a while between me and my parents because they didn't really understand. They wanted.
I asked because I met a lot of people who would know the word, and you know, like
If you live it, I see. It's like I'll give you a little more, and then I'm gonna leave it alone. I'm GD as well. If it's on you, it's fake. If it's in you, that means you live it. The codes aren't just codes that you just spit out and say. It's a part of your life.
See,
I'm not religious.
I'm not. Like, I don't have.
I'm not religious. I believe in the word as it lives.
Right.
It comes through me. You understand? You give to God by giving to others. You give
That's
the
right.
word by bringing it to life.
That's
you
right.
understand?
Yeah.
So it's not something that I use pagan. You understand?
Yeah.
I give to everybody in the same accordance.
Yeah.
I know. I don't notice I didn't say I think or I believe. I know that as long as I give, my cup will always be filled.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You understand?
That's right.
So I don't worry about. My wife asks me all the time, like, why did you stop and give that man $20 because God told me to? And
Because
she
they'll
wants to know
always be
how did
fulfilled.
God tell me to? Like, did He
It'll
say
multiply.
to you in your ear, like, Larry, give that?
Right.
No,
Was he audible? Was
it's
he
here,
this?
right?
Right.
It's here. I know,
Right.
just like I know that light green, and I know this red, and I know that I'm supposed to go into my pocket and give. I don't have. You think I wake up like, let me give away my money? As hard as I work, if I'm giving it away, it's because
Right.
my heart is telling me that's what I'm
right.
supposed to do.
That's right.
That's how I live. That's my relationship with God. It's more of action instead of running the
And that's
mouth.
what it's supposed to be. And like I asked that question because I met a lot of people, like I said, that would know the word, but they didn't know God, and their actions proved in what they did and how they moved. Like me, I learned God before I knew the word. I grew up real Christian. You know, we would study the word. I never understood it. And then when I started going through a lot in life, it was more like,
What you saw.
it's like what
It
it's more
opened
like
up.
God came to me. Like I can't even
It opened
explain
up to
the
you,
savings
yeah.
that like my life could have been taken multiple times, many occasions, and He was just always there.
Well, he was covering
And-
you. He kept his
Yes.
hand on you
Yes.
because he knows you, and he's covering you, but he's drawing you. He's drawing you, and so he has something for you to do. I'm gonna talk about that off camera, but we have to remember that in all of your getting, what did he say? Get an
Get
understanding,
understanding. Yeah.
right? And we
you
have
doing?
to know
Let me help
that
you. I'll be
whatever
right
we
back.
do, thank you. Whatever we do, that we have to go before the Lord wholeheartedly, knowing that His word is true, knowing that if He has a relationship with us that He wants to cultivate, that we have to spend time with Him and in the Word. We have to truly submit ourselves unto God. As the old song said, I surrender all. And so we have to give Him our all. It doesn't mean that we're not going to have trials. It doesn't mean we're not going to have tribulations. It does not even mean that we're not going to fail.
Just means you're
Because
gonna get
the
thrown.
Bible tells us we're going to make mistakes. Righteous man falls 7 times, but he gets up. And so what we have to remember is that the accountability to the word, that God tells us that we are to pray with all supplication. We are supposed to lay it all before Him. We're supposed to cast our cares upon Him because He cares for us. And so with that, we're down to the wire. Final thing, relationship with God. How important is that in your relationship?
First
Everything.
thing.
First thing. Okay. So
Everything.
we all understand that God is our core. He's
Can't
our
have a relationship
center.
without God, it will not work.
That's right. And so, since we're here and we're talking about this, I would like to invite both of you again, extend to your new birth. Church down in Stonecrest. Yes, it's down in Stonecrest. Come down and visit. Church
Mama might come
service starts at 9. Bring the family, bring the kids, they got stuff for the children's church. Bring them out and get connected with God, because it's not that you guys don't know Him. It's just that I think that you're not involved.
Yeah.
You need to get back attached, because we're in the last days. And so this is the time that God is drawing back His people. He's calling for His foot soldiers, those that know Him, that are not afraid of anything, that are going to be able to go out there and help bring in more people to disciple, to learn His word, I've been challenged in so many ways in these last couple of years that I was like, okay, Lord, really? Really? I was modeling, I was doing some things, I was going to acting, I had a job, I was making great money, and you snatched all of that from me and said, come do ministry. And I said, but they don't make money. And he said, but I got you, my sister. And I was like, I'm making $150 an hour on this thing, I'm making on this over here on that thing, and you say, come over here, and the 5-bedroom house gone, all the cars gone. The kid and myself were surviving. He's in 4th year college, but God has never left me out to a place where he did not provide. And in fact, there have been times when I got down to the last $2, and I was telling the story to somebody, and I said, I said, Lord, what are we going to do? I got $2. What you going to do with this? I've never been here. What are we going to do with this? And this homeless man walked up and he said, ma'am, you got $1? I said, I said, for real, Lord, you are tripping.
Here you go, buddy.
Are tripping. You don't know who you talking to. I said, sir, you know what? Here you go. I said, you got one and I got one. I said, you know what this means? My God is bigger than this. He's better than, he's got to show up on this, right? And the man said, thank you, ma'am, thank you. He said, I can go get something to eat now. And I was like, oh, and I can't. Right? And I said, you know what, God, what you going to do with this?
He showed you something.
And yes, he did. Let me tell you something. And he said, check your account. I put up my account. This is no lie. And I've never told this on camera, but I'm telling it. I pulled up that account and it said $1.14. And I was like, this is crazy. I was in college. And this was not like in college days. This is like as an adult going back to school. Yeah. Right? And I'm in there. I said, Lord, how come I have no money? What is going on? My money was held up. Like I had money and I couldn't get it. It wasn't coming to me. I said, what is this? Right? And all of a sudden, that night I went to sleep. And then I woke up, and when I woke up, God said, check your bank account. Yeah. And I was like, I checked it last night. It said $1.14. Sure, it's going to say $1.14. So I'm like, I got $2.14, right? And so then I pull it up. I said, okay, I go online, look, call it up in there and check it. And it says, you have $10,001.14. And I was like, woo! Watch your hand. Okay. Oh my goodness. $10,001.14.
He said, I will multiply it.
That's right. And he said, won't he do it?
That was some beautiful.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me? And so I tell people all the time, it does not matter. Come back because you're out of camera. It does not matter what it looks like. God told me it doesn't even matter what you see. It could be that. But whatever he calls it to be, that shall it be. And so I looked at it as like, this is just money. I've never been here, right? And I said, Lord, I don't know how you're going to do it. And he said, let me show you how I'm going to do it. The same way I always do it. I reach into your situation and I touch it. I reach in and I give you what you have need of. I know who's around you who has what you have need of. You see what I'm saying? And so at that point, God blessed me. And you know what I did? I went back out and what did I do? I began to give.
See, but that's what I'm trying to teach my sister right now, because my sister and I have both came from a long way. And it's like I just learned a little earlier because my life, I
You've
feel
been doing the test
like
at a young age. Yeah.
Yes. So it's like I kept trying to teach you. Everybody says we have faith in God, but do you have full entire faith?
But when it gets down, yes.
When you have nothing, no
down
place
to the last
stay, you gotta
dollar.
move out tomorrow. I got an eviction right here, broke right here, been haven't eaten in days right here.
My sister.
Do you still have faith that it's still gonna work out?
That's
the
right.
very end, last moment.
That's right.
And I promise you, ever since I just always put that in my head, it doesn't matter what I'm doing, where I'm going, where I am. I know God gonna handle it.
That's right.
See, and people get so, I have people talk to me all the time, you don't feel safe walking down the street? You feel safe right here,
in this
how
area.
Can you just do this? I'm like, I trust God.
That's right.
If God want to be taken, let me be taken.
That's
Because
right.
then he's still going to have a plan for me.
That's right. He said that everything works together for your good, right? And so we know that no matter what it looks like, no matter what we're going through, that in the end, we win, right? God already told us that he fought the battle and he won. So all we're required to do is to walk through this journey and never give up. And I think that people lose sight of that in their faith. They say they have faith, like you said, but they lose sight of the fact that God already told us that he won. He already told us that we're going to be by his side, that no man can pluck us out. Nothing can pluck us out of his hand, right? So we all know you have a call on your life. You have a call on your life. I have a call on my life. But the thing that we have to remember is that God is going to provide. He said, no, that problems may come, but he's already made the provision. So we have to trust God. We have to lean on him and never doubt. right? What did he say? Only believe and trust in me, never doubt. The Israelites, they didn't make it to the promised land. Why? Because they doubted. They doubted. So that is a principle that we are to stand on, never to doubt God. Know that he will always come through.
No matter
know
what the
that he's
material world
able.
looks like.
That's right. No matter what it looks like. It might be pouring down raining and you got to walk home without the umbrella. You know what I'm saying? It might be that your marriage seems like it's failing, but God, he still got his finger touching it. It might be that you don't have the house or the husband you want, but I'm standing on the promise that he said that mate is coming, that he will do what he said he will do, and that I will go where he said I will go. I will fly around this world. I will heal people. I will help build houses, and we will help get those babies houses, and all the homeless off the street. We will feed them. All of that stuff will come into fruition. So whatever your promise that God showed you, whatever your heart's desire, he said what? To lay it before him. Right? Those who delight themselves in him, he will give them the desires of their heart. Psalms 27:4. And so we know that we have a promise from God that what? We're the seed of Abraham, and that we're blessed already.
But
we're blessed already. Don't go backwards. We are blessed already. Right? Whatever was yesterday, God's got something for you. He's got something for you.
I know, I feel it. I know with all my heart.
And can I tell you something? You're not just here just to be here. You're here to learn, because you got your own that's coming through.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? It's coming through. Your thing is now to find out who can invest into it and who can help you get there. Because I see a desire. I see it. And so God is going to do it. You're going to have to find out who can help invest in you. That's the only key you need. You see, and the rest, because you have the ideas, you have the dreams. It's just who can help me get it.
God already blessed me with that randomly, all of a sudden.
See,
and that's why I'm moving. Next day I'm telling you.
And this one right here.
Together.
You don't want to be in ministry. You're tired of ministry. It's just a family thing now. What is it?
I just feel like it's more earnest ways to touch than just to stand in a pulpit.
So no. It could be outreach. It could be outreach. Years. It could be other, other
that's
means.
The only way. That's the only thing I can. It has to be hands on for me.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those type that's going to abandon what a lot of traditional preachers will call the street. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is where God taught me hands on.
That's right. Because that's what he did. Yeah. It said, and Jesus went out and healed us.
And that's what I'm looking for. Like,
restore sight to the blind. He went out.
My parents, very, very dedicated. Like I admire my father for many reasons, but one more than anything else is his love for God. I've seen him sacrifice.
That's right.
A lot of material, a lot of money for what he believes.
That's right.
And I admire.
And God has kept him going.
Yeah, I
and
admire
kept that church going. And
I you know what I'm saying? So, like, in saying this, it's not to discredit my family for what they do. For me, it's something different. I have to be hands-on. Going to church or just being in a church or having a church or preaching to the same people Sunday after Sunday is not something that I'm interested in.
But you do preach.
I preach every day to the brothers and sisters that come my way.
Right. Well, we might have to bring them on the Queen's table as a little preacher, do a little sermonette.
I actually want to do the exact same thing that you're doing for the females.
Okay.
For the men, because it's a lot of questions, a lot of things that guys go through that we have no outlet to, and it's not looked upon as manly to speak on those
talk about
issues.
Those things, yeah.
You know.
And I'm going to show you a podcast that I have here that's for men, and I think you need to see that, and then it could help you get to doing this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I listened. I looked at I think it's Kevin Samuels before he passed. I liked his approach, even though it was a little
twisted.
Over. Yeah, a little over
twisted.
For the women.
I only saw him at the end. I didn't know anything about him until he passed. So I think I saw him like the week before he passed,
really?
And then he passed. Because somebody said, do you watch Kevin Samuels? I was like, no, I think I saw him once. And then like the next week he was gone. I was like, what just happened?
Somebody turned me on to him, and at first I was like, and then I started listening to his message. Like really, he's empowering men, not even just black men, just men.
Well, I'm gonna show you this other one, and you take a look at that.
I will.
We are out of time, you guys. We are out of time. I want to thank both of my guests, all three of my guests, for coming on and for talking about what does love look like. We went into a love relationship between God and us, and talking about what we expect from God and what we know God will give unto us, and what He's expecting of us is that we do our due diligence to read our word, to love Him, to have no other gods before Him, and to just allow Him to permeate our hearts and teach us and lead and guide us and just direct us on the path. He said the steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord, and so we appreciate that. And again, I want to thank all of you for watching The Queen's Table, and I look forward to seeing you guys on Sunday. God bless you, and go in peace.
Peace.
Amen. Amen.